I am Vuso Majija. This is the Retail Exchange, powered by Fortress. This is where we talk about how retail property can be turned into possibilities. Shopping centers are an important component of our social fabric in South Africa. They don't only provide goods and services, but they create spaces for people to engage and to meet. They are also an important economic driver. The development of a successful shopping center relies on a web of relationships between developers, city officials, retailers, and other stakeholders. To unpack these partnerships, I'm joined by MMC of Economic Development and Spatial Planning in Tshwane, Ms. Sarah Mabotsa. Generally, MMC, I think that developers and city officials work well together. However, there's always room to improve those partnerships. In your view, how do these partnerships between the city officials and developers work?
Thank you so much for inviting me. I think for me it's a great opportunity and honor to have this discussion with yourself today. Yes, indeed, I like your opening remarks when you talk about, how our malls have been set up as a place where we can be able to engage. But at the same time, families on the Saturdays and Sunday over the weekend, they go to various malls. And indeed, that's where economic development is taking place.
Correct.
What needs to happen ideally is that the relationship between the developers and the city of Tshwane and everybody else, it should be based on three things mainly. The first one is the issue of trust.
Absolutely.
And we have to make sure that there is a resilient municipality.
Yes.
Why I'm saying this in terms of service delivery, because if you find that your municipality is providing a poor service, it's going to be a problem.
Yes.
But again, everything's being underpinned by the processes and the policies of a particular municipality for it to be efficient and effective. I'll give an example. In the city of Tshwane, we've got bylaws that we have to make sure that we comply to. We've got, I'll give an example in terms of town planning. We've got a lot of town planning schemes that are there. We've got what you call a regional spatial development framework. That framework, it's helping in terms of the regional planning. But other than that, we have what we call integrated development planning. That plan, it's a 5-year plan because it looks at everything that is happening in Tshwane in terms of the project, in terms of, let's say, for example, the houses that need to be developed, the malls that have to be developed. And based on that, then we can be able to say, okay, this is what the inputs that is coming from the communities in terms of that, I call it IDP.
Sure.
Then we go to council and look at that, say, in terms of the funding, how are we going to fund the aspiration of that particular community? And if we don't have enough budget, then we can be able to go back and say, you know what, this is the small cake that we do have. Then we go back and reprioritize according to that small cake that we are having.
Sure.
So for us to build that big and important relationship, it's all about trust. It's all about efficiency. It's all about consequence management. It's all about having the processes and having the performance agreement. Because when we start as this administration, we realize that, what is really lacking there is the performance agreement, because you cannot run a city that doesn't have a performance agreement, because that is going to help us in terms of the key indicators to say, if we've got a group head as an example, what are the things that the deliverables that group head has to deliver? And if you don't have it in writing, then it becomes a problem. Sure. So it's some of the things that we are looking at. But again, we said in terms of consequences, because we cannot allow a situation where we don't deliver service, because once you don't deliver a service, that municipality is just going to go flat.
Correct.
What is it that we can be able to do to make sure that service is being delivered? So we went back again, say, we started last year in October. Then we sat around the table to say that what is it what is needed in the city of Tshwane. So we realized that what is important is the issue of service delivery, water, infrastructure, because there's no business that can flourish if we don't have those basic things. You need to make sure that your municipality, it does provide a good service.
Yes.
Your municipality does have an infrastructure. Your municipality does have to collect rates. We're not even apologetic about that. Because you are saying, how municipalities work. If we don't collect revenue, mainly it's because of we're doing it from revenue collection as well as grants. But if you don't collect that municipal service, the rates and taxes, then the municipality is going to collapse.
Correct.
So we're not being apologetic about that. We said the residents of Tshwane, we want to give a proper service. But those who can afford to pay, come and pay. We also have some programs that we've put in place. Because we know, it's not like everybody who can afford to pay.
Sure.
But we have what you called indigent program.
Yes, I know
We put that as a part of that to give like an incentive to say people, residents who cannot afford, come to us. Say this is for your story. Then we have like a criteria that we are using. And besides that, we are also giving them limitation of free basic services, like your water, your electricity. But after that, then they should be able to come and pay. So basically, your question relates to the policies. We need to have policies that are working. We have to make sure that we hold our officials accountable. And we also have to make sure that we report back to the residents. We had our 100 days in the past few months, but now in last month, this month, in fact, we completed our year in office. So what we did, we went to the residents of Tshwane to say, residents, you gave us this mandate to make sure that provide a good service. You gave us a mandate to make sure that we clean the street of Tshwane. You gave us a mandate in terms of economic growth in the city of Tshwane and all those things in infrastructure. So we went back to the residents of Tshwane to report back to say, these are the things that we have achieved. So in that way, it shows that, we are accountable to the residents of Tshwane, because we don't want a situation where it's only the residents who are coming to complain, whereas you're not going back to them and give them their mandate and report back. So it's part of that accountability.
So, Minister, sorry to cut you off there. You started and you made a few comments that I like. The first one was talking about trust, and I'll come back to that point just now. But I don't want to lose the momentum on what you mentioned, service delivery. As a business, for you to have confidence in an area, you need that service delivery must be there. I remember taking an investor from overseas who was wanting to open shopping centers to one of our shopping centers. And we were driving, the shopping center is in a township. And as we were driving, there was an area where the community had dumped rubbish and it hadn't been collected. And he turned to me and he said, how can I invest in a place like this? So service delivery is important, and we'll know that just last month, the late September, the Bureau of Economic Research released their Business Confidence Index, and our business confidence has slipped to 39 points out of 100, meaning that 61 respondents out of 100 don't think that South Africa has got conducive business environments. And service delivery is a big component of building business confidence. So how do we grapple and get a handle on service delivery, and what role can the private sector play in that? Because we can't expect the municipalities to do it by themselves. There's a partnership that we must work towards.
Yeah. In fact, you are asking a very crucial question. We've got what we call Tshwane Economic Revitalization Strategy, and it's identify 11 sectors. From township economy, you go to automotive, you also have digital, we've got circular economy, we've got construction and property, we've got agro-processing and student accommodation. Then we're testing this strategy. Then on the 10th of September, we had a very big and successful investment summit. In that summit, we had a target of 5 billion rand worth of investment budgets.
Yes.
Well, to our surprise, then we end up with 86 billion rand of pledges.
Yes.
So that on its own, what does it tell us? It told us and taught us that now it looks like the investors are beginning to believe in the city of Tshwane. Because what we've done, when we started in the office, we had some programs. For example, we had what we call Riaspana program.
Yes.
We went everywhere, in every corner of the city of Tshwane, doing what we normally do, doing our operation. And when we do that operation, we make sure that we have what we call IBEC. IBEC is consisting of your TMPD in Tshwane, your SAPS, your economic development, your health, your fire,
Yes.
even immigration. While we were doing that, because with that strategy, we said we cannot be able to do it our own. Remember, the municipality doesn't have money. We don't have enough money to revitalize our city, to revitalize our building, our stadium, showground, and fresh produce market. So we said, let's involve the private sector. I just want to give you one example where I know the private sector played a very crucial role, one or two. The first one, when you look at mainland Main,
Yes.
you know where
Yes.
mainland Main?
I know it well, yes.
Yes. So what happened with mainland Main? It's like another Sandton, right? We are
Correct.
getting there.
It is.
Yes. So with mainland Main, we had that partnership to say, you know what, currently we don't have enough bulk service infrastructure. Then mainland come on board. So you know what, let's do that. We're going to give them something like an incentive for them to proceed doing the infrastructure. That's why that development is so beautiful at
Correct.
the moment. So with mainland Main, we are still expanding. But we've got another automotive hub, Tazas. I don't know if you've been to Tazas.
No, I have not been.
Right. So we just need to go there sometimes. So again, it's a partnership with the city of Tshwane. We avail a piece of land. So what they're doing there, we've got all this automotive hub, be it your Ford, your BMW, they're assembling parts there. So it shows that that success on its own is showing that a partnership can really work.
working.
Yeah, it's working so beautiful because we avail land and then we are expanding again because we took a decision to say if we can be able to unveil a piece of land, like there in Tarsus,
Yes.
we will be able to create so many needed jobs. And at the same time, we'll be able to grow our economy. So it's some of the success projects that we have undergone. But now with this investment summit, we appreciate that we should be turning that pledges into real investment.
Correct.
But now what we did as the city of Tshwane, so you know what, we want to keep business in the city. And what are the incentives that are available so that we can be able to attract business? So we have what we call incentive toolkit.
Okay.
That itself, it helps in terms of the application because some of the problems that you'll be experiencing when you want to apply as a developer, then we have like a help desk. Then they will be able to give you a priority to do that. But other than that, what we said, we have what you call 200 VIP business line. With that business line, we did it intentionally because it's those big business where we know that they help us in terms of generating revenue. They're paying the municipal bills and all those things. So within that database, but the database is still growing. If you have a problem in terms of your municipality or any other service that you think that you deem that it's very important, we don't want to cut off the electricity and the rates of our business line. They will just have that line and call, and we give them that service. Yes. Even the last time I was in Sandal Run Ridge, it's one of our business centers.
Yes.
So they are part of that business line. So if they need anything in terms of municipal services, then they can be able to call immediately. Then we give them that priority service because we don't want to just to chew in that. But other than that, we have a memorandum of understanding with a lot of business people, including other civic organizations that are assisting us in terms of trying to clean our city.
Yes.
So we're just trying to tackle it in different ways. But we're also saying, those who are watching now today, so if you want to come and start business in Tshwane, we took a decision that Tshwane is open for business.
Tshwane is open for business.
Yes, Tshwane is open for business.
So maybe if I take you back a little bit, you spoke a little bit about incentives. From a shopping center development right at the moment, some of the things that we are struggling with as shopping center owners is rates and taxes. Rates and taxes, as you know, has gone up. And we've got a scenario within the shopping center industry where we call it, not us, but it's called the closing jaws, where rentals are coming down and costs are going up. And two of the main things that are affecting us are the cost of electricity and the cost of rates and taxes. So I like when you're talking about incentives, because my belief is that if municipalities could work together with developers and find sustainable rates, charges, you could encourage more development into the city. I mean, just last night, I was reading in The Economist that in Detroit, a city had been degraded, and a businessman benefited from the city's incentives of reducing rates and taxes. And you bought up many blocks, and he redeveloped those. So, in my view, if that happens, the municipality gains by getting more business, and you benefit from scale rather than increasing rates to a few landowners. How do you respond to that? How can we work together to find sustainable rates increases in our cities?
Yeah, that incentive that you're talking about, is something that we are still developing. We're
Okay.
conceptualizing. So imagine in a situation where you are a new developer and you want to come to Tshwane and build,
Yes.
right? And then we can be able to waive, or maybe give a break
Yes.
of 2 or 3 years. I can't remember the
100%.
exact years.
Yes.
To say, while you're busy sorting yourself in terms of development, then we're going to park what we are owing there. But again, we also want to say to the developers, if they've got any other ideas, like for example, now we're going towards solar energy.
Correct.
But we don't want it to overemphasize that, because it can also disadvantage us as the municipality, because we want the developers to help us in terms of revenue generation.
Yes.
Because if you can cut it completely, then it's going to be a problem. So that document, incentive toolkit that you're talking about, it's talking exactly about that.
Okay.
To say, how can we be able to give them a break? Because we understand the cost of development, it's high.
It is high.
And also, to get the tenants, it's also like it is a problem. So while you're sorting out yourself, while you're still trying to get your clients in the business, then we can be able to give you that incentive.
I think that's a very interesting project you're working on, because as you rightly say, we sit on the other side where tenants are complaining and rentals are coming down and costs are increasing, and electricity is a hot potato at the moment. Obviously electricity is a big revenue generators for municipalities, and shopping center owners are putting up solar, and with the intent of, even where possible, feeding into the grid. Somehow I think that, and that's why I was hopeful that Operation Vulindlela, the reforms, may relook municipalities from prioritizing revenue generation to enabling development. And somehow we need to sit around a table and talk about those things. Because at the moment, as I say in my industry, wheeling electricity into the municipal grid is what we're talking about. And surely sometime the municipalities need to embrace that. What's your feeling about that? I know I'm talking, I'm putting on the spot now.
No. It is a good question. But now we need to start somewhere. Remember,
Yes.
we've got NESA.
Yes.
We do have NESA. If NESA can be able to give us, the rates that are very low, because in the city of Tshwane, for example, we don't, our rates, we are aligning to NESA.
To NESA, yes.
So if NESA can be able to reduce their rates, then we can be able to say, as the city of Tshwane, this is how much we can be able to offer. But what we did this in this current financial year, because we wanted to give a break, exactly that.
Okay.
We had our municipal valuation roll.
Yes.
But what we did when we had our budget adjustment and passing our budget, we say, for now, let's exempt the property rates. We leave it at that. We didn't increase anything. But with
2025.
Yes.
Okay.
So we didn't increase anything on property rates. Consider the fact that exactly what you say, it's not only about the business, but even the residents out there, because you cannot do the municipal valuation roll and increase the property rate. So we left it flat.
Yes.
So that's exactly what we have done in terms of that. So, but I think it's another conversation that seriously we need to have
Yes.
with national and provincial.
I think so too.
Yes.
I think so too.
Yes,
because
we
I
need
think
that.
for me, I can't. The only way I can see it working is if national and provincial government can recognize that to incentivize business, you need to lower costs and therefore take the responsibility of necessarily income generation from the municipalities. If you can take that pressure away from them, I think that's a debate that we need to have. Maybe not here, but that's a debate that needs to happen out there.
Yes.
So MMC, if you had one ingredient to improve collaboration between city officials and property developers, what would that be?
In fact, as the City of Tshwane, we have started.
Yes.
We do have what you call a property development forum.
Okay.
That, I think when we started in the office, it was not operational. So we said to the City of Tshwane and the potential developers and those who are in the development space, that this forum is assisting us in terms of having to have a discussion, because in that we are doing it like a working kind of a section. Because we find that the developers sometimes they feel that their building plans
Yes.
are taking too long
They are,
to
yes.
to be approved. The issue of the rezoning,
Yes.
it's becoming a problem for them.
Yes.
The encroachment and all those things, the issue of the bulk. So with that forum, we've got different departments that are playing a role in there. We've got electricity
I like that.
department, yes. We've got the economic development as well. We've got transport. We've
Yes.
got the sector itself. So then that is helping. But other than that, other than discussing those issues, because they will tell us, what, I submitted this building plan, what, and then this is how it's taken, because we also have our standard operating procedure.
Sure.
That is also helping us in terms of having to check how long does it take for the building plans to be approved.
Yes.
But again, the developers themselves, sometimes, they've got this limitation where they are submitting incomplete documents.
Sure.
The City of Tshwane, we do have an online application form, a website, where you can be able to apply. Then in that system, we do have, like a checklist. I like working with a checklist because
Yes.
it's making it easier for people to work. We check, what are the things that are needed so that we can be able to process your application faster. But now, if they don't give us that incomplete information, but they're giving us incomplete information, then
They're not helping themselves.
then it's going to delay.
Yeah, but I like what you said first, and it goes back to a point you made earlier that we need to develop trust. And I like the initiative that you've got, which is the business forum. Maybe even from our side as developers, because I'm more in the shopping center field, I find it strange that many developers do not know or have a direct contact with the municipal manager or head of planning or head of roads in the municipality. They don't even know their names. So maybe networking functions. Maybe we must invite you to our networking functions with our industry bodies, people from public officials, so that we can start talking human to human and understanding each other's problems. But also, perhaps ourselves as property developers, because it's the first time I'm hearing about the Property Development Forum.
Oh, okay.
So maybe we need to attend those. So yes, and that will start building trust. I think if we can expand on networking, that will be a good start. So I think that's a good ingredient.
Thank you. In fact, what, you're coming with a good proposal. I even said to the officials there, you say, that space of development planning is very regulated, and most people don't understand it.
Correct.
But I'm saying to them that there's no development that can happen without
Absolutely.
all these things that are happening, all these bylaw, the land use schemes, and all those things. So we're going to have like workshops
Yes.
in all regions. Remember, we've got 7 regions in Tshwane. So we're going to have set up like pop-up, like workshops
Yes.
to say, give it, what, a simple term. To say not only business. If a resident who wants to build her house or his house, what are the things that needs to be done?
Absolutely.
The plans, because there's no plan that has to, or a structure that has to go up before they've gotten approval. Because currently we are experiencing a lot of problem. We've got 17 illegal townships in Tshwane as we speak, and still in counting. So we took a decision to say, all right, we're not promoting this, but we need to go to all these informal townships to find out how did they go about it. The third part of it is that in most cases, you'll find that the very same developers are the ones that encourage the development without going to the city.
Yes.
Maybe, is it because of red tape? Maybe. But we are saying, whoever has built knows that, he has done it illegally. So
No, absolutely.
they must come to the offices and say, this is what I've done. We're not saying we'll be able to regularize everything.
Sure.
Because remember other buildings, you find that, they build it in a wetland. What are you
Yes.
going to do with a wetland?
No, 100%. No, I think no one disputes illegal developments are a no-no.
Yes.
So towards closing, MMC, I'm going to take it upon myself. I'm a board member in the South African Council of Shopping Centers, and I want to invite you to our next function, which will probably be first quarter of next year. I'm not sure of the date, but I want to invite you, and maybe we can stay in touch because I would like you to bring some of your team as well, so that we can start engaging about these issues. But I want to thank you for the time today. It's been an honor and a great pleasure to talk to you, and I'm sure we will have a continuation of this discussion at a later event.
Yeah, so I also want to thank you so much for this opportunity. This is just the first step in the right direction.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you.